So now that you know about the police investigation and who's under investigation, let's dig into some other stuff. Okay, this story is just kind of ridiculous. Last April 2018, the city council members Susan Holman, Rex Anderson, Roxy Hall had a meeting with T.R. McNutt, Kevin Eveld, Sonia Eveld, and the reporter from The Spectator. And they had this meeting for the sole purpose of discussing how they were going to deal with the Freedom of Information request. Well, I've already told you how that went. I sent in the request for see how all the department heads and all the elected officials, what they had spent on traveling. Now, the reason I picked traveling is because it's kind of a well-known fact that if anyone's going to squeeze a little extra money out that they shouldn't have, it's going to happen on travel expenses. And as I said, the result I got back showed no hotel rooms on any of those reports, so I knew something was hinky, and I also knew then that the clerk was trying to keep me from finding something out. You see, the clerk apparently told her little buddy Rex Anderson that mean old Steve Whitaker had sent her over 100 Freedom of Information Act requests. Well, it wasn't true, but it was enough to get Rex on the phone with Susan and Roxy and the gang. One of the things that came out at this meeting was that they couldn't just say, hey Steve, come up, look at the records yourself. Now, in Sonia's emails to me, she made that statement every time, you know, my records are open to you, you can just come look at them. And I said, no, the law says I don't have to, and they're supposed to be in electronic format. In other words, they're supposed to already be scanned in so that you can just call up a file on your computer, attach it to an email, and send it to me. It's easier for everybody, and it's, you know, the 21st century way of doing business. Well, what we find out is the clerk's been in there, 10, 12 years? I don't know. She's been there a while, and she had not been scanning in these documents. So the city attorney tells her, I've seen the records room basically, and it's a mess. Your records aren't viewable. So, I'm just so grateful that Sonia Eveld had the presence of mind to record their secret meeting, and then she had the presence of mind to accidentally give me that recording when she was trying to trick me into believing I had received something else. Every time I think about that, it just makes me laugh. It's absurd, but it happened. So I'm just going to play the recording for you so you can hear what the city attorney told her.
Well, I mean, even in the way he makes his request, he has listed out the entire FOIA that he's quoting, and then down at the bottom is where he has his actual request for each item. Right. And then he's got them AC-01, AC-02. You know, he's got them all labeled.
He's listed the statute.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's listed the statute.
And the language in the
statute.
And
I listed the statute back to him when I said, you know, that my records are available to you, blah-de-blah, and they're always available to you. My records are open to you and any citizen, you know.
But they're not really.
They are.
Yes, they are.
But no, they're not if you think about it. They are here. They're ready. But unless you have those ready for him to look at and he pops in and he says, okay, give me 2016, you don't have those ready as a practical matter.
But they're available to them.
I know, but they've got to be available and he's got to come in and he's not going to wait here 3 hours. We have them available and ready, but if he's truly wanting to see things, then he's got to know they're ready at a time and place and to look at them. We can't just say, yep, I'm the keeper of the records, come on in and look, because you don't have them ready for him at this point.
So a couple of months ago, I decided just to go see if anything's changed. I wanted to see if Mayor Hall has maybe put her foot down about how records are kept. I wanted to see if Miss Eveld had done anything after being called out. I wanted to see if Miss Eveld's now keeping up with things after having to spend $8,400 to play catch up doing her job. That's one that she should have had to pay that back. She was elected to do this job and she gets paid way more than she's worth to do it. And yet she had never scanned these documents. Instead, we sent them out of state and it cost us $8,400. Well, actually a little more than that because, boy, again, one of the most ridiculous things that's happened, but I should just stop saying that about Ozark because every time I turn a page, something ridiculous happens. But here we are with these documents are in another state and we pay, yes, that's right, paid Kevin Eveld and Sonia Eveld to drive up there and pick up the documents once they were scanned. Now, I can't believe this even happened, you know. Every time I think about that, I'm just so disgusted that we allowed these people to go up there and get these documents. I should point out that I read the contract with the company that did the scanning, and part of the price for doing that also included the documents being returned to Ozark, Arkansas. That was part of the price. So you have to ask yourself, why would Sonia Eveld and Kevin Eveld drive up to, I believe it was Kansas, somewhere in Kansas, and pick these documents up? It just stinks. You know, sometimes you just have to call a spade, and it stinks. Especially now knowing that those two people are under a state police investigation. So I show up at City Hall, and just in case, I've got a USB drive in my pocket so I can put some files on there if necessary. But I requested to see, I don't even remember what document it was now, but mostly I just want to see the records room. And Miss Eveld takes me down the hallway and opens the door. And I was just, I couldn't, I knew what it was going to be. I mean, I knew it. But to actually see stuff piled up, file folders scattered across the floor and boxes stacked up and just paperwork absolutely everywhere. There's no order to it. There's no system to it. And once again, it's pretty easy to tell that Sonia Eveld has not been doing her job, has no intentions of doing her job, and didn't care one bit that she'd been called out on this and just kept right on going business as usual. Well, it's pretty easy to see that she doesn't know where the document is that I need, but she says she's got it on her computer. Well, the thing is it was mission accomplished. All I really wanted to do was to confirm my suspicions that she's not doing anything and that the records room was still a mess. But I give her the USB drive and she's about to plug it in, and I say, you know what? Never mind. Because the last time that I did that, here's what happened. I was requesting audio recordings from previous city council meetings. They were in, an MP3 type file, so they're on the computer, and all she has to do is copy paste. It's however long it takes to transfer an MP3 file over to my disk. That's all I was there for. This was back after the emergency meeting of last year. Well, I guess she thinks she's Jason Bourne, so instead of giving me the documents that I'd requested, the audio files, she's taking forever, and she just starts dumping stuff onto this disk. So anyway, we're talking about last year when this happened. I took my USB drive home, and I didn't jump right on it. I didn't have any need to listen to these audio recordings that day. So it was over the weekend. I plugged my disc in and I realized that there's 2 or 3 gigs of files that she's just bombarded onto my drive, but not the audio recordings that I'd requested. She deliberately withheld the audio recordings, but in some cases there was as many as 11 copies of documents. She's just copy, and she'd do the same ones over and over, all the while chit-chatting with me sitting in her office. So here we are now in 2019, and that thought goes through my mind, and so I say, you know what? Forget about it. Just give me my disc back. And that's when she has this complete meltdown. Now, I have to ask for some forgiveness here because I'm a bit of a troll at times, and I know how to get somebody's goat when they're having a meltdown. I guess it comes from having a big sister. So when Sonia starts throwing this fit, I start throwing gasoline on it. So she says, "You're never going to have Kevin." I'm like, what? She said, "I know why you're doing this. You're trying to steal Kevin away from me, and our marriage is just fine." She blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Kevin's a queer?" And she goes, "No, you are."
I know you are, but what am I? 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 Infinity.
Oh my gosh. And she stormed out of the office, and I went into Roxy's office and I said, "You probably need to call your city attorney because I don't know how you're going to handle this, but it sure smells like another lawsuit to me." Now, oh my God. Here's the thing. I'm obviously not gay, and I don't know about Kevin. That's between him and his wife. Whatever they got going on there, that's between them. And so, basically, okay. Okay, there's only two scenarios here, and we're basing this on words that came out of Yappy's mouth. And she really believes that she's going to be sent off to prison for the sole purpose of me chasing after her little fireman. That's one scenario. The other scenario is that she's so simple-minded that she's trying to concoct some sort of backstory to save her ass. Maybe they're both concocting some sort of backstory to save their ass. I don't know. It's typical high school mean girl mentality where I'm going to start a rumor about some boy because I don't like him and I'm going to ruin his life and make everything miserable. Well, it's 2019 and you're a grown-ass woman and an elected official. I really don't care what you say about me. I'm not going to stop until I'm through looking into all the wrongdoings in the City of Ozark. That I can promise you. So whatever you got going, just let it go, man. Now, I'm not going to analyze this too much, but it was really unprofessional for her to say this, but then, you know, why wouldn't she say something unprofessional? Here's the thing. City Hall is a mess. Nobody knows what's going on there. The records room, you couldn't find your ass with both hands in there. She's obviously not doing her job, and she seems to be unhinged. People, we have the means to remove her from office. All it requires is action from your mayor. She wanted this job. She needs to be the leader. It's what you wanted, Roxy. You wanted to be in charge. By God, be in charge. I've given you a step-by-step process of how to take care of this. I suppose what is the other option is another lawsuit for the city? I've got a really good attorney, a really good one. And if this is the game that you want to play, if you want to be the mean girl saying stupid lies about somebody just because they're asking questions, then we can play that game. Anyway, I think that action needs to be taken by city government to do the right thing. But what do I know? Not that there's anything wrong with it. See you in the next video. It just keeps getting better.